Mike Tyson has issued a stern warning to Jake Paul as their highly anticipated showdown approaches. Tyson has kicked off his training camp, showcasing his incredible hand speed and devastating power, leaving onlookers in awe. A recent video captures Tyson in an intense training session with his coach, Rafael Cordero, focusing on pad work and building his stamina. The clip ends with Tyson delivering a chilling message directed at Paul, sending a wave of unease through viewers. Adding to the tension, Tyson has just shared another ominous warning for Paul, further intensifying the build-up to their clash. Meanwhile, during an episode of Joe Rogan's podcast, Mike Tyson opened up about a recent encounter with Jake Paul. Tyson recalled running into Paul, explaining that they were in the same vicinity, essentially sharing the same space. The incident occurred while Tyson was on someone's boat, where Paul also happened to be present.
Day 4, it was okay, but you don't know that you got in store, baby. You got to face the God of War. And get ready, baby. Fire in the hot.
Rogan highlighted the potential impact of a fight between them, emphasizing that such a matchup would be massive, given the immense public interest it would likely generate. In response, Tyson showed clear enthusiasm for the idea, signaling his readiness by suggesting they move forward with the plan.
Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao was big, but culturally, you versus Jake Paul, like this young YouTuber takes on one of the greatest heavyweight champions that's ever lived.
I love that. Sounds good. Hey,
oh
everybody,
my
listen.
God.
Continue,
Are you
please.
listening to this? If he's willing to do it, you know how crazy it is if he's willing to do it?
I saw Jake Paul. I was in St. Bart's. I don't know who you. Yeah, I was on somebody's boat, and he was.
However, Campbell Hatton has raised concerns, suggesting that the training clips of Mike Tyson might be misleading fans into believing Tyson is fully prepared to take on Jake Paul in the ring. Hatton argues that the footage is being strategically used to build hype and justify the fight. He stated, "People are getting carried away because Tyson looks incredibly powerful in the training videos, but they're justifying the fight based on his past prowess." Hatton emphasized the need to consider Tyson's age, pointing out that while his punching power remains formidable, enduring multiple rounds and absorbing hits at 57 years old poses a significant challenge. Hatton also expressed worry about the potential negative impact a loss could have on young fans who have been captivated by Tyson's training clips. He cautioned, if Jake Paul knocks him out due to Tyson's age and reduced resilience, it could send the wrong message to newcomers who've been introduced to boxing through platforms like YouTube. On the other hand, Jake Paul has responded to Tyson's intense warnings. When Tyson questioned whether Paul still wanted to fight him, Paul was quick to reply, tweeting, yes I do." Paul is entering the ring against Tyson on the back of 3 consecutive victories, though his last 2 wins were against lower-ranked opponents in the professional boxing circuit. In a recent interview, Paul shared his disbelief about the matchup, saying, "I can't believe it, it's surreal to me. I'm still trying to process and comprehend it. When we faced off for the first time, I started laughing afterward. I stepped away and thought, bro, what the hell is going on?" While Tyson and Paul have already faced off for the fight announcement, fans are now eagerly awaiting the official press conference. Although no official date has been confirmed, insiders suggest it could take place as early as next month. Until then, fans can enjoy the ongoing exchange of warnings and training videos from both Tyson and Paul as the anticipation continues to build.
All right, put a picture of me and
His
him
brother's
at St.
great
Bart.
too. Logan's a
Can you
really
do
nice
that,
guy.
please?
But my point is, that fight would be gigantic.
Oh,
Because
man.
first of all, everybody would want to see what?
Let's do it, Jakey.
Meanwhile, upon hearing about the upcoming match between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, Oscar de la Hoya voiced concerns for Tyson's safety, given the significant age gap between the 2 fighters. The CEO of Golden Boy Promotions disapproved of the idea of Tyson, at 57, facing an opponent 3 decades his junior. De La Hoya stated, "I've been saying from the beginning that Jake Paul has potential, he could even win a world title, but only if he takes a different path. Going up against Mike Tyson isn't the right route for me." He weighed the pros and cons of a Tyson-Paul matchup, suggesting that Paul should pursue a more traditional path to become a world champion. Despite his reservations, De La Hoya acknowledged Tyson's ability to potentially knock out Paul, saying, "Mike Tyson is 60 years old, and Jake Paul is what, 26 or 27? If Paul wants to take boxing seriously, he should follow the path all other fighters take: tough fights, climbing the ranks, facing top 10 and top 5 opponents, and eventually challenging for a world title. Not this route with Tyson. In another interview with ES News, De La Hoya emphasized Tyson's legendary punching power, noting, "The last thing to go for a fighter is their power, basically, until they're in their grave." If Tyson lands a good shot, it's lights out for Jake Paul. While De La Hoya didn't completely dismiss Paul's chances, he added, "But that's only if Tyson catches him." "I was studying the Roy Jones Jr. versus Tyson fight recently, and Tyson looked great. He was in prime condition for that exhibition match in 2020. Tyson, who has been vocal about Paul's boxing journey, has previously expressed admiration for the YouTuber turned boxer. Back in April 2022, Tyson commented, "I love that he jumped into the sport. People don't realize boxing needs this. Right now, the greatest fighters aren't fighting each other. Boxing needs a guy like Jake Paul." Reflecting on his own journey, Paul recently shared his disbelief at how far he's come, saying, "It's crazy to think that in my second pro fight, I went viral for knocking out Nate Robinson on Mike Tyson's undercard. Now, less than 4 years later, I'm stepping up to face Tyson himself. This is my chance to see if I have what it takes to beat one of boxing's most notorious fighters and biggest icons." Tony Jeffries, a former Olympic boxing medalist turned coach, has also been eager to share his expertise on the matchup, adding another layer of insight to the ongoing discussion surrounding this highly anticipated fight.
Sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract.
No problem. Saturday, July 20th. See you there.
Tony Jeffries was asked if he had ever imagined a scenario where Mike Tyson, the legendary boxer, would step into the ring to assert his dominance against a younger opponent like Jake Paul. Jeffries responded with a thoughtful and sincere reflection, stating, "Mike Tyson has nothing to prove. If things go horribly wrong for him, the younger generation might remember him as that old boxer who got knocked out by Jake Paul." Jeffries didn't stop at considering Tyson's legacy, he also reflected on the implications of the fight for Jake Paul. He said, "I'm sorry to say this, but it's possible. Mike Tyson is a living legend, a boxing icon." Jeffries then highlighted the potential upside for Paul, emphasizing the significant opportunity this fight represents for the younger contender. "I think this fight is great for Jake, not Mike," he asserted. Steven Jackson, known for his candid opinions, recently shared his concerns about the upcoming bout between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson during an episode of the All the Smoke podcast. A devoted admirer of Tyson, Jackson reflected on the boxing legend's resilience, saying, "He's been through the ups and downs of life, embraced the tough times, and is still here doing big things. I just don't want him to go out there and risk his legacy dealing with a guy like Jake Paul." While acknowledging Paul's success, Jackson couldn't hide his concern, adding, "If he knocks out Mike Tyson, I'm just telling you, somebody's going to wait outside and hurt him for real." This statement underscores the deep respect Tyson commands and the controversial nature of Paul's challenge. UFC light heavyweight contender Johnny Walker recently shared his surprisingly optimistic take on the matchup. Walker described the fight as a money-driven endeavor but acknowledged Tyson's right to capitalize on it as a revered boxing icon. He remarked, "I actually think the Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson fight is a very good, smart marketing move. Both will make a lot of money, and good for Mike, he deserves it. I think it will be an exhibition fight." What do you think? Former world champion Amir Khan has also weighed in with his prediction for the highly anticipated fight. Khan believes that Iron Mike will secure an early knockout victory. He said, "The fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, wow, no one would have ever expected something like this to happen. Mike Tyson is a legend of the sport, and he's not someone you want to mess with, even though he's older and has been retired for a long time. He's obviously done a few exhibitions."
Mike Tyson's last professional fight was nearly 20 years ago in 2005, although he did have an exhibition fight with Roy Jones Jr. 4 years ago, where Jake Paul, on the other hand, has been having fights regular, keeping active, training as good, if not better, than most professional.
Khan expressed concern for Jake Paul, suggesting that facing a heavyweight legend like Tyson could lead to serious harm. He questioned Paul's decision to take on such a formidable opponent, saying, "I just feel that Tyson can really hurt Jake Paul. I can't believe what Jake is thinking. He's fighting a heavyweight great, and I think he could get hurt badly." Khan also questioned whether the fight was more about hype than reality, noting that both Tyson and Paul announced it simultaneously. He expressed his astonishment and concern, hoping that Tyson wouldn't seriously injure Paul. Is it just hype with Mike and Jake posting about it at the same time? This is unreal, and I hope Mike doesn't end up hurting him. At the end of the day, I like Jake, but Mike is not someone you want to mess with or do an exhibition with, especially when you're smaller and lighter. Furthermore, Khan admitted his uncertainty about whether the fight would actually take place, expressing both amazement and shock at the prospect. Despite his doubts, he predicted that if the fight happens, Tyson would win by knockout. I don't know how this is going to go. Is it really going to happen? It amazes me, and I'm shocked. I've got Mike Tyson winning by knockout. Even though he's in his 50s, he's still a dangerous guy not to be messed with. That's all for today's update. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more exciting videos, make sure to hit the bell icon and stay updated. Subscribe to Boxing Hub now for all the latest in boxing.